So a while ago, I think it was like October, I did a video where I just read a bunch of dreams. I should keep this away from my mic. Where where did the bee come from? There's a bee. Anyway, where I read a bunch of dreams from my dream journal. In that video, I kind of explained like why I keep a dream journal. So if you want to know all that, go watch the old video. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, and I got a comment from Sick, who comments on a lot of my videos. So hey Sick, thanks for, always watching my videos and leaving comments. You're super rad. Specifically, they said like, I'd be happy to watch more like weird dream journal videos, and I'm like, okay, great, because I would be happy to make more. I love talking about my weird dreams. And I was like, maybe this video is not gonna do well, because I always hear people say that talking about dreams is like the most boring thing ever. No one wants to listen to your weird dreams. But compared to like my average video, I mean, like, 50 views isn't a ton, but like it's got like 50 views, which is like a solid amount for one of my videos. So I'm like, okay, people like the weird dreams. So all of y'all who watched my first dream journal video, thank you. I love talking about this weird stuff. So we're just going to keep going on. So I started the dream journal back in 2013, if I'm recalling correctly. And the last dream that I did in the first video was 2015. So I'm just going to kind of pick up where we left off. Let's see, April 10th, 2015, I dreamt that Eric was driving me somewhere, and we were at that intersection, like a specific intersection in the town where we went to college. And he was going super fast. So I was like, babe, slow down. And he immediately stopped and didn't hit the car in front of us, even though normal physics would have totally made us crash. Then he turned to me and was like, lol, that was a close one, without realizing. Oh no, this is terrible. He was like, lol, that was a close one, without realizing that he was veering right and about to crash into another car. So I was like, dude, seriously? And he braked again and naturally didn't hit the car. And that probably happened like 10 times. That's terrifying. I feel like this is another one of those dreams that I would definitely have when I was stressed. April 19th, 2015. Had a dream that I woke up from a nap, and so I had a dream that I woke up, which is always the worst. And I noticed the light fixture on our ceiling, which doesn't exist in real life. Right, okay, so we don't actually have overhead lighting in this apartment, but in my dream we do. The light fixture was kind of going crazy. Like the light bulb was getting really bright, and the fan, which also doesn't exist, was spinning really fast and making an increasingly high buzzy noise. So I turned it off really fast and ran out into the living room. Like, guys, this apartment sucks balls. Our fan is going to kill us. I was really fed up with this apartment at this point. Like, I already had plans, I think, to move out of this apartment. So it was just like, I was way over it and just like complaining about it all the time. This friend who didn't live in the apartment, but she spent a lot of time in the apartment because she was friends with my roommate and me. She went into the room and fixed it, and of course acted like it was the easiest, most obvious thing ever, and I should feel dumb for not knowing how to fix it. Yeah, I love this friend, but she does have a tendency to, when there's something you don't know, she's like, yeah, you just do this. And it's like, okay, thank you. Went back to my room, turned the light on, and went to my dresser only to realize that there was like a whole corner of space that my roommate and I hadn't used, and it had more fan wing things. Like, I don't know if you can see my fan. The blades, fan blades, and some other stuff, I think. I don't know why the fan wings would be important, but this is also a recurring dream I have where something annoying is happening, or maybe even not anything annoying is happening, but I'll look in my closet or my dresser and I'll have all these cute clothes that I don't have in real life, and then I'll wake up and I'll be sad that I don't actually have the cute clothes. That is a constant dream of mine. Oh boy, a work dream. September 19th. In this dream, I'm at work at the university bookstore where I used to work, but the store is organized differently than it normally is. And I'm trying to find this chick's customer profile. Normally when someone checks out, we look up, like we use their student ID to find their customer profile, when everything starts shaking. And there's totally an earthquake going on, but I'm like, look, I will worry about the earthquake after I find this chick's customer profile. Dream me as an idiot, and that's the end. I swear, I like deleted some stuff. Like it just says, sometime not knowing about it, and it basically sucked at the end. What sucked? What happened to some of this information? I'm so confused. This is the second dream where there's been like words missing. Anyway, I don't know if that's part of the earthquake dream or a separate one, but yeah, I was That's kind of how I was at work sometimes. I would get very much a one-track mind. If I was like helping a customer, I was really bad at like just saying like, okay, I need to, you know, give me 2 seconds to go focus on this other problem and I'll be with you shortly. Like I was like, I gotta focus on the customer, you know, like, which is, I guess, like kind of what's trained into you. But yeah, I didn't always have a good sense of when it was okay to say, oh, okay, there's an earthquake. Let's hold on. That never actually, the earthquake thing never happened, but I'm just saying, like, this is kind of, again, like an exaggerated example of something that I kind of did in real life. Oh boy. Oh, this is kind of funny. September 27th, 2016. Wait, what? Okay, I guess I either stopped journaling for a while or, again, like a lot of stuff is missing, but wow. I know I go through phases where I don't really write down dreams, and I think it's totally possible that I went like a year and just didn't write down dreams and then came back to it in 2016. Wow, I didn't even notice that we had like a time jump. So that last dream was from 2016, my bad. But this is fun. September 27th, 2016. In the stream, I'm getting ready for the away game. I was in, you know, the marching band, football game. Away game was always like once a year we would go on like a big trip for an away game. And I had stayed the night at a friend's house the night before, so I drive back to my place, probably to, you know, get my clarinet or whatever. And I'm in a rush, so I leave. I guess it would have been my flag. Whatever. I'm in a rush, so I leave my car running while I run up to grab my things. And then I'm like, wait, I'm an idiot. My apartment key is on the same ring as my car key. Oh no, I think I know where this is going. So I have to go back down to my car, and then I just decide to go ahead and park it. Was it not parked? I guess I just like left it kind of like not actually in a spot, but just kind of like in the parking lot running, like it'll take 20 seconds kind of thing. So I somehow magically have my stuff, right? That dreams. And I go to the music building. And for whatever reason, this is when the whole band is eating our Lenny's subs. Yes, normally when we go on an away trip, pretty much every time we went on an away trip as a band, we would, on the bus ride there, get subs from Lenny's? I don't think it was Lenny's. I think it was Jimmy John's. Anyway, we would get submarine sandwiches. I can't remember if they asked what your, you know, flavor preference was for the subs. I feel like maybe they just kind of tried to gauge a general idea of, you know, how many vegetarians there were and how many people wanted pepperoni and ham and whatever. But it was always kind of like I knew there was a chance that by the time I got my sub, the vegetarian ones might be gone. So this is like very much based in reality. Oh wait, except they're not subs, they're hot dogs. And there are veggie dogs that are green. And for some stupid reason, all the meat eaters want to try the gross looking veggie dogs. See, this is what actually happened. Like we would get people just being like, you know what, I'll take a veggie sub. And I'm like, there are people who don't eat meat on this bus. Come on. This is literally what they actually do at away games, though. LOL. Thank you. And we can get cookies for $1, so obviously I have to do that. So I guess I complain about this, but I do end up getting a veggie dog. So I eat my lunch in the lobby with a bunch of sorority sisters and a guy from KSI, and basically like the people who I had eaten lunch with, I guess, in real life at the away game. I'm not sure exactly what I'm referring to here. And then almost everyone leaves, so it's just this one KSI brother, this TBS sister, and me. We sing through the entirety of some piece, I want to say Barber of Seville, which is a very me thing to do, like especially on a band trip, to just sit there and sing instrumental music. That definitely tracks. And then for some reason we end up comparing our shoe sizes. And then for some reason I'm like, wait. And then for some reason I'm like, wait, just to give... And then for some reason I'm like, wait, just to give an accurate comparison, let's go hold our feet up to this fridge that's in the middle of the music building for some reason. I don't know why that would help. So we go sit on the ground and compare feet in front of the fridge. And the TBS sister is like, you guys are weird, I'm leaving. I have no idea why everything that's happening is extremely normal. And then we play piano in the lobby, which is definitely not allowed, but whoops. So yeah, that is like a really good example, I think, of just how weird my dreams are and how they just go from like one thing to another. And Dream Me is just like, this is normal. Okay, let's see, December 2nd. I don't remember very much about this dream except we're in a KSI meeting and I tell everyone that, so it's my turn to have the floor, and what I do is I tell everyone that I came up with the best pun earlier today and no one appreciated it. So I tell it to them. Oh no, except instead of a pun, it's actually that pin, pineapple, apple pin song that one of the KSI brothers sent me. And no one finds it funny except that specific brother. And another KSI brother looks me dead in the eye and is like, I can't do it. She looks me dead in the eye and goes, that's not a pun, Becca. And then another guy seemed really upset because he thought I was going to deliver a great pun, but I didn't, which also seems like the way he would react in real life because he was always very appreciative of my puns. Yes, I can definitely see all of this happening. A lot of these dreams are like very college focused this time. December 10th. So in this dream I go to work and for whatever reason the time clock isn't working. So I throw this huge fit about how I'm not going to work without getting paid, which is something I would never do. I think I got that idea from The Chick in Horror Store, which is a book that I was reading at the time about someone who worked in the service industry, and she was very jaded about the service industry. For me, my job wasn't too bad, so I would have been like, whatever, I'll tell them and they'll give me my hours later. So I refuse to clock in until it's working again and I just leave. Well, that's not how you're going to find out if it's working again, but okay, dream self. And then for some reason I'm at Hogwarts and Harry and I, it's just like Harry's, it's like, so anyway, Harry Potter's here now. And Harry and I are trying to find some secret in one of the bathrooms. And a scene like the one where Harry uses Sectum Sempra on Malfoy happens, except I think Snape did it this time. So I just kind of peace out of there. I'm like, yeah, Harry, you're a lot of drama. I'm just gonna go. And then I'm walking with Eric, and we see some geese flying in the distance, and for whatever reason, I really want to talk to one of the geese. So I walk over to the geese, and one of them flies down towards me. And suddenly I'm like, wait, crap, geese are terrifying, which is true. Geese are terrifying. And I'm gonna run away, and then the goose is like, quack, and I realize it's a duck. And the duck is looking for its ducklings, so I help it find its ducks. That sentence is terrible. And then I go back to work, but I waited so long to clock out that I'm not getting enough hours to have a lunch break, which is pretty sad. The end. I think I meant to say I waited so long to clock in that now I'm not getting enough hours to get a lunch break. Okay, once again, this is another one of those dreams where it's just all freaking over the place. Oh, here's another dream about clothes. October 27th. In this dream, I'm waking up. These are always fun, LOL. So I'm getting ready for my Spanish capstone presentation, but I can't find that orangish red jacket that I bought specifically for it. That's interesting. I don't remember that I specifically bought it for that presentation, but I do like that jacket. So I'm looking around everywhere for that jacket, and of course I notice that there are some cute clothes that I don't recognize, and I don't think to myself, this always happens in dreams. So then some random helpers show up. I think they're penguins. How do I not remember? Whatever. They start looking through my closet like, is this what you want? And I'm like, no, look for orange. I don't have many orange things. It shouldn't be hard to find. And eventually I remember that I left it at Eric's place. And then I woke up and realized that was false. It was definitely still in my closet. Oh boy. December 30th. October 30th, in this dream, I'm heading to the indoor band practice facility for band rehearsal. And when I get there, this KSI brother is on color guard, and she's trying to do pole hits, but she really sucks at it. I think we had done like a flag workshop at a KSI convention, and most of my brothers were, new to the flag fundamentals. So this was true to reality. Like when she tosses, her hands just kind of sit there awkwardly. So I go over and tell her, hey, if you extend your right hand and try to slap your left hand against your leg. Wait. Pole hits? Oh, yeah. So extend your right hand and slap your left hand against your leg. Your tosses will come out better. And she tries to do that, but she's not much better. And everyone else on guard is looking at me like, why are you trying to help her? She's hopeless. And I'm like, well, you're all jerks, which is actually something that happened to me with a lovely girl who was on color guard, and people were just really, really unnecessarily mean to her, and I tried to help her, and people just acted like I was being dumb for even thinking she stood it. It was really, really frustrating. One of the most annoying things about being on color guard. Moving on. Then for some reason, all the color guard gets on some spaceship. Again, it's just like, why? And I look out the window and there's this dude. So I get off the ship and we talk for a while, I think. And we're about to blast off and I have to get back on the ship. But once I'm there, I add him on Facebook. And I tell all the guard girls and they're like, ooh, Becca has a boyfriend. For some reason in this dream, I'm not dating Eric yet, but we're flirting. So wait, do I actually like this guy? Because I feel like I remember this dream. I just saw this guy as a friend. But the color guard thought that like I was flirting with him. That night I call the new dude. And he picks up the phone and starts speaking Spanish. So we talk in Spanish, and the guard girls are like, OMG, he speaks Spanish, so hot. But in my brain, here it is, but in my brain, I'm like, OMG, this guy's going to be a great conversation partner. I'm suddenly not romantically interested in him at all. I'm going to go back to flirting with Eric. So yeah, there was just like a romantic prospect, and I was like, oh, never mind, I'm going to use you as a Spanish conversation partner, which is also, I mean, like, I probably should have just like seen him as a friend, but well, my birthday! November 14th, I had this dream that the band seniors went parasailing every year, like it was a tradition or something. So we were headed to a nearby town to go parasailing. But when we started going through this tunnel that Amber and I call Washington Tunnel, it's an inside joke. I don't know the actual name of the tunnel. Halfway through, we noticed that it was caving in, and suddenly it was actually a bridge going over a river. But since it was caving in, we couldn't get across the river. All 26 of us were in one of those giant church vans, lol. Whoever the heck was driving stopped, and we got out. The guy told us we had to hold onto this log and it would carry us over to the other side where a van identical to ours was. How convenient. So a few people went before me and eventually I grabbed onto the log and I was holding on super tight, but the instructor was yelling at me, 10 and 2, 10 and 2. And I was thinking, dude, I'm not driving. If I hold this thing at 10 and 2, I'm definitely going to fall. So I just held on tighter. And it was kind of scary, but not too bad. Eventually, I dropped myself off on top of the other van, and everyone cheered. Eventually, we got to the river, and a couple Kasai brothers and I went to this ice cream parlor / diner, which was really adorable. We ate ice cream, and people watched all the other band seniors being dumb in that town. IDK, it was a cute ending to a dream. It made me happy. Aw, that's kind of nice, actually. I mean, the parasailing, it looks like the parasailing didn't happen, but there was still the thrill of parasailing by riding a log over a bridge that was caving in somehow. And then it's like, okay, well that was enough action for one day. Let's go get some ice cream. That's really cute. December 18th, I'm on campus for some reason, and I feel like there's more backstory in the dream, but I really only remember the end because it was so weird. I'm walking back to my car, which is parked behind my old apartment. And I run into Amber on the way there. You guys know Amber. She's driving my mom's car. No, she's driving her mom's car. She's driving her mom's car, and she rolls down her window, and she's like, hey, can you give me a ride back to my car? Wait. Okay, I cannot read right now. Jeez. She's driving her mom's car, and she rolls down her window, and I'm like, hey, can you give me a ride back to my car? And she's like, oh my gosh, I remember this. She's like, I don't think I can. This is not funny. It's just so nonsensical is why it's funny, but it's actually kind of a scary dream. She says, I don't think I can. Remember that? Sorry, it's just like, why? And she says it so matter-of-factly. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. She's like, I don't think I can. This is not a thing that exists. Remember that filter on my mom's car that's supposed to correct the oxygen in it? I need to replace it, so I need to go, like, now. And I was like, then why did you roll down my window to talk to me? But she started choking and basically having an asthma attack and drove off. And I was like, what the heck? So I ran back to my parking spot, which was now closer. The car moved because it's a dream. Once I got to my car, Amber had parked nearby and was fixing the air filter thing. It was really weird, but yay, she lived. Yeah, like, this is a scary dream, right? In my dream, I was definitely, like, scared. I was like, oh my gosh, my best friend is, like, about to die, and she's just, like, driving off in the car. But, like, reading it, it's kind of objectively funny because, like, the filter on the car that's supposed to correct the oxygen broke. What does that even mean? It's just like my dream made up this thing to cause drama, and it's like, calm down. After Christmas, but before 2016. 2016? No, I mean 2017. So in this dream, Eric is like kind of he looks like Eric, but he has kind of he has the history of my ex. So we've broken up a couple times and gotten back together, which is not something that has happened with Eric. And Eric and I have been together consistently over the whole course of our relationship. He's like a combination of Eric and my ex. And we're hanging out when I say something that upsets him, I guess. And he says, well, excuse me, princess, which is something that in real life we say to each other like a decent amount. I feel like I say it more than he does, but I think that little Zelda CDI, actually it's not CDI, it's the Zelda TV series. I just think that's friggin' hilarious. But in this dream, it is apparently offensive to me. And I look at him and I'm like, I thought we talked about that. So after our hanging out sesh, we drive home and I get the courage to tell him why I'm mad, which waking me has no idea why I was mad. But then immediately after that, we see a huge dead thing in the middle of the road. And we're like, what? And as we get closer, we realize it's just a huge stuffed elephant. We keep driving and notice there are lots of stuffed animals in the road. And there are cop cars in the distance. And we're like, that's weird. But then the road starts crumbling. And somehow he weaves around all the crumbling stuff until we're in this parking garage. Oh, I remember this. He tries to get over this narrow beam in the parking garage. But the car starts falling down like 10 stories. And I start thinking, crap, we're going to die right after I tried to pick a fight with him. So I try to tell him I love him, but my vocal cords don't work, which is probably because I'm asleep and my real vocal cords aren't working. And as we're falling, I'm thinking about how all the newspapers will say, engaged couple dies in tragic car accident before they could get married. Then we hit the ground and I wake up. The crazy thing is I don't feel like we were fighting in real life. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I had like gotten a little bit annoyed at him earlier that day, but yeah, it's just kind of a funny dream. Like, we're gonna die, and we couldn't get married. January 20th. I don't remember much about this dream, but clearly you can see that around this time is when Eric and I were engaged, and we hadn't gotten married yet. So I'm having a lot of dreams about being engaged. I don't remember much about this dream, but Eric drives me out to this random house and proposes to me in the driveway. But instead of giving me the engagement ring, it's the wedding bands, and then we put them on each other's fingers. It's kind of cute. Oh, that is kind of cute, actually. It took me a while to, like, process what I read. Yeah. Oh, so, like, we're already engaged, I guess, but then we get the wedding bands, like, early. That's cute. I don't know why we're at a random house, though. I feel like I can picture the house. I'm surprised that I didn't describe it. It was, like, kind of like an old, but, like, cute old, well-preserved house in the middle of the woods, and it was, like blue, I think, if I recall correctly. And I want to say there were sunflowers, but that might be because there were black-eyed Susans around the area where we actually got engaged, so it was like kind of a similar looking flower. Anyway, pretty freaky dream here. I don't really want to like share this one, but just to show that like I do have some freaky dreams. I'll just say the general gist of this is that in this dream, I have a friend who, like, is really upset, if I recall correctly. I'm just kind of trying to skim. And we're fighting, and we're, like, both facing a mirror. So, like, I can see her this way, but also I can see her reflection in the mirror. And when I look at her, she's, like, normal and happy looking, but when I look at her in the mirror, she's, like, evil and, like, very angry, and it's, like, really freaky. That's all the detail I'm going to go into. But, you know, I have some scary dreams sometimes. They're not all Hogwarts and parasailing. Oh, look, Harry Potter. Sometime after I went to Minnesota with Amber, I've forgotten most of this dream now, but I mostly remember going to this abandoned mall to steal stuff. IDKY. Well, I guess it's abandoned, so it's more okay. We find this Barnes & Noble, and I see Harry Potter books with the new covers. But I have this magical sense that all the old covers are going to come back into style, and the new ones are going to get super rare and valuable. So everyone else I'm with, I don't remember who, is stealing like actual valuable stuff, and I'm just collecting these Harry Potter books to sell online in 20 years. I do remember that. Ooh, I think I remember this one. Early August, I'm in another mall. Okay, yeah, lots of mall dreams. I'm in another mall adopting a cat from this pet store in the mall. I pick out this cute black cat that looks a bit old, like 3, like it's not a kitty is what I'm saying. And I take it back to my family's shop, which is apparently right next to the pet store. My family's shop? I have no idea what kind of shop my family owns in this dream, but my mom, my brothers, Eric, Amber, and a Casey brother are all there. And everyone's like, Becca, why did you adopt this cat? It's super old. And the Casey brother says it's 36 years old. And I'm like, okay, but you mean 36 cat years because you're, again, this like very literal friend that I mentioned earlier. The one who like will just like do things and then be like, yeah, that was obvious. What are you talking about? So I say, okay, but you mean 36 cat years because you're so-and-so and you like to word things in confusing ways. It hasn't been on this planet for 36 rotations around the sun. I distinctly remember that sentence. And she's like, no, it's literally 36 years old. So I decide to take the cat back to the pet shop, which is rude, first of all. I'm like, this cat's too old. Take it back. But I take the cat back to the pet shop and the cat starts freaking out as if it's saying, don't take me back there. So I start wondering if the pet shop treats their animals horribly or something. But then the cat morphs into this huge mountain lion and I'm running back to my family's store. But then I'm like, wait, I can't let this mountain lion terrorize the mall. So I go back to fight it. Okay, self. Some of the pet store assistants come out to help me, tell me to stop. I don't know, but I kick the cat, and then I kick in real life, which wakes me up. That's a weird one. September 2nd, my family lives in this house that looks kind of like the house on Full House, and we're eating in the dining room when we notice these people trying to break in. Through the window that's right next to us, and we're like, dude, we can see you. So the people just go back to where the bedrooms are and try to break in that way. And I'm like, these guys are idiots. And I leave the house to try to catch them. A bunch of chase scene stuff happens, but I forgot the details, which is very me for an action scene to happen in my dreams and I just don't remember it. Okay, let's get through a couple more dreams because there's a really funny one coming up. I'm going to end on this really funny one and then we'll end on a high note. September 3rd. In this dream, I'm on some kind of trip with the ESL Master's program from where I went to grad school, and we're staying the night in this old Victorian-style building. As we're laying down to go to bed, I go downstairs to use this public bathroom. I guess it's a mixture between a hotel and IDK, a museum. So yeah, it's like there's rooms upstairs, but then downstairs, I don't know, like old... I think because it was like a Victorian style building, it was like you could come in and see kind of the old like architecture and stuff. But when I flip the light switch, the lights don't turn on. So I just feel around and find a toilet and pee anyway. TMI. But I do have a lot of dreams where I have to go to the bathroom. Like, again, it's kind of a thing that happens when I'm stressed. And then I notice the lights are slowly turning on. Then I get up to go over to the sink and wash my hands, look at my face, and I notice that there are all these gray dots on my face. And I'm like, cool, this is probably a dream, which is definitely something that happens to me when like scary, unrealistic stuff happens in dreams. Sometimes I'll just be like, cool, I'm dreaming, just gonna roll with it. I don't really lucid dream though, I just like sometimes realize that I'm dreaming. And then a TV in the bathroom suddenly turns on and it's showing a creepy animated woman with a bunch of ants on her face. And I'm like, if this is a dream, that's probably going to happen to me. And I look back into the mirror and, yep, ants start crawling out of the gray dots on my face. That's freaking terrifying. My face is basically covered with ants. Neat. So I start running back upstairs to find Eric, who's on this trip for some reason. Yeah, because he's not in the ESL department, so it's a little bit surprising that he's here. I get upstairs and Eric and this other guy from the ESL program are on the ground in sleeping bags and they're like, dude, because they had seen it on the TV. They're like, dude, have you heard about the ah? And they turn around and see me with all the ants and just run away. Apparently the room we're in has 2 doors. And I get really sad because I want some help. I've got ants crawling around in my face, but I'm scaring everyone I know. It's another example of just one of those weird, scary dreams that I have where like, in the dream, I'm terrified. I have ants crawling on my face, but objectively, it's just kind of hilarious to picture my friends looking at me and being like, dude, have you heard about the ah? Like, that's hilarious. Okay, here's the fun dream. September 16th, I put at the very beginning, author's note, I want to point out that I dreamt this before I started watching Riverdale. You will see why. Okay, I'm just going to start with the first thing I remember, but I know the dream goes back farther than that. This is a long dream. I'm at my family home, and everyone's rushing me to get in the car. I get in the car with my family. It's really cramped, like either I'm in the front seat of the truck or it's a super tiny car. And we go to the airport. I don't know why we're going to the airport, but we go to the airport. Once we get to the airport, I get separated from my family and discover this huge play place thing, but it seems like it's for adults. So like inside the airport, there's like a McDonald's play place, but like it's scaled up. So there's this 20-something guy, looks like he'd be in a fraternity, trying to complete the obstacle course play place thing. So yeah, it's like a play place, like you've got like these tunnels that you can crawl through, I remember, but also there's like stuff that you can swing from one to another, kind of like an episode of like Whiplash or something. That's what that show's called, right? Wipeout. Whiplash or Wipeout? I don't remember. It's like he's inside a big ball and has to get into a tunnel to go to another big ball. There's like a tunnel in the middle and a ball, but like it kind of rotates. And he's making it rotate too fast, so he doesn't have enough time to get out into the tunnel. Eventually he's successful, and I think to myself, dude, I could do that way faster. So I go up there, and this is where it gets interesting. When I'm in the first ball, I hear some dudes cheering me on from the next one. It's not hard at all, really. I just slowly shift my weight to get the opening to line up with the tunnel. So I go through the tunnel, and who else would be in the next ball but the Sprouse twins? So random. I hadn't thought about them in like years. Like I hadn't watched Riverdale. Like I get that like sometimes they'll have a funny tweet or something, but it's like, whoa, super random. I was really obsessed with Sweet Life of Zack and Cody as a kid, but like this, it's random. And I try to be fairly casual. I think I maybe say something like, oh hey, you guys were my childhood, but nothing too fangirly. So I talk a little bit with Dylan and Cole, and there are these fabric strips hanging from the ceiling, like that material they used to make backpack straps, so it's sturdy. Again, like the material that you see on like kind of the woven parts of those play places, so that they're fabric strips hanging from the ceiling. I start pulling on them, and it's like you pull on one of the fabric strips, and it's supposed to open the door to the next tunnel. But for some reason, when I pull on it, the door to the next tunnel still hasn't opened. Dylan and Cole are still there talking to each other, so I'm like, okay, guys, do you know how to get out of here? And I'm like hanging from one of the straps now, like I'm putting my entire body weight into it. And Cole walks over and pulls on the one I'm hanging from, and it opens the door. Jeez Louise, I gotta get a new camera battery soon. This thing just does not last as long as it used to. Okay, we're almost through the Sprouse twin dream, but like, it's a good one to end on. It's kind of silly and weird. So yeah, he pulls on the strap that I'm hanging from, and it opens the door. And I'm like, dude, I weigh like 100 pounds. I weigh more than 100 pounds. Maybe I was trying to sound lighter in front of the Sprouse twins, but I say I weigh like 100 pounds. How did that not open? And they both shrug and are like, it was nice meeting you, as I leave. And I'm like, nice to meet you too, bye. And then I'm out of the play place. Oh my gosh, this is so funny to me. As I'm going downstairs, I start fangirling, lol, justifiably. And then I run into my parents. They're in line to board the plane. And I'm like, you'll never guess who I just met. Dylan and Cole Sprouse. And they're like, are you sure that wasn't a dream? And I'm like, if that was a dream, then this is a dream. And they were like, fair point. I love that I realized I was dreaming, but then I was like, well, if that was a dream, then I'm still dreaming now. I was so close to figuring it out. Then I tried to tell my brothers, and the same thing happened. They were like, I think that was a dream. And I was like, it's not. But it was. That dream is one that I definitely will like remember for a long time, because it's like, first off, it's just so silly, and it's like, why are they here? I haven't thought about these guys since I was like, I don't know, like 14 maybe, and it's just like silly. We're like playing in a play place. Why? And then I try to tell my family, and they're like, are you sure you weren't dreaming? And I'm like, yes. Just, I don't know, it's all the components of like a classic crazy me dream. So I feel like it's a good place to wrap up. I recorded an outro earlier because I thought my camera might die. So we'll show the outro now. Yeah, anyway, as you can see, I just have some weird dreams. I still have like 6 more years of dreams to go through. So like, you know, if you want a part 3, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know your weird dreams, because like, I just love reading and hearing and talking about just weird dreams. Brains are so weird. I just find it really interesting. So share your weird dreams. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I put videos out every other Friday about music, media, linguistics, and whatever else is on my mind that week. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.